What's going on? It's Tamari coming in from the Marietta, Georgia area, and I'm checking in on the industry's most wanted with TampaMystic.
Yo, I'm going through it, through them stages, flipping through all the pages, through them phases. What am I even fucking doing? I'm so clueless, Spirit of a teen, I'm so stupid and contagious.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live on the industry's most wanted podcast. Hey, if you weren't awake before, you awake now.
I don't need that no more.
You don't even need to dunk it no more.
I'm good.
Listen, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Tamari checking in.
God, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. I've been looking forward to
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah, we made each other's acquaintance fairly recently. You know, we met at an event and we've been rocking ever since. So it's definitely a pleasure to be building with you more, getting to know you more. But without further ado, you know, break it down. Tell us a little bit about everything that you do. Not just an artist. I know you got a lot other going on.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot going on. So, you know, being that now I'm 25 at this age, I'm just so much focused. I'm really trying to create a career, you know, that little day job kind of thing. But now this is a point where I'm really realizing I put a lot more focus on my hobbies. So my hobbies right now, I've been doing a lot of skateboarding. I've been doing a lot of traveling. I'm doing my songwriting, which is still music related, but at the same time, it's also a way to vent. Aside from that, I'm doing my photography. I'm playing guitar. I'm playing my piano. So literally, a lot of things I do has to do with music. It's hard for me to enjoy anything outside life if it's not that.
Yeah,
you know. So
absolutely, you're heavily involved in the entertainment industry on different, you know, aspects. I know you're from Marietta, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
Marietta's beautiful. It's a very nice area.
Yes, ma'am.
You grew up there?
Yes, ma'am. I grew up there. I moved there when I was about like 5 years old.
Okay.
From South Carolina. Was where I'm originally from, but I don't really remember it too much. A lot of times
Understood.
when I go there, it's because I have like family from South Carolina and North Carolina as well. So really, when people ask where you're from, I gotta just say Georgia because this is really all I know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Going back, you know, to like, it's rare that we remember many things before the age of 5.
Right.
Really, even kind of before the age of 10, you know, especially the older we get, you know, like there's certain little things that'll stick out. The furthest I can remember back is 3 years old. I remember certain things, but very little. Right. So you don't really remember moving to Georgia, probably.
I can barely remember anything in my teens, man. You got to ask me like specific things, and I got to sit there and recount. You know,
isn't that crazy?
Database. Yeah, to think about it.
That's crazy that we actually lived that, but as we get older, we just don't. And I think it's because our memory and our brain only remembers the highlight moments. You know, it's in there somewhere. But you got to have something to bring it out.
It's got to bring it out. And a lot of times as a teen, we're just looking to that next thing. But we start to get older and start to realize I got to focus on this thing right here.
Yeah.
This thing right here because of, boop, gone.
Absolutely. 100%. So as far back as you can remember, like pretty vividly, were you into like playing sports? I heard you say you played a couple instruments. You know, talk to us about the childhood.
So childhood-wise, I grew up, did piano lessons for about a year.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that.
About what age was that? Do you recall? Before 10?
Definitely before 10, for sure. And then I learned, really got into skateboarding when I was 5 years old.
Oh, that's dope.
And so I was doing that strong from 5 and throughout middle school, and then was on and off through high school, and then it would fade off. And in winter times, I'd really stop.
Yeah.
You know, because I ain't skating in the cold.
No.
It's not, I'm not built for that. You see my skin yourself. So I don't know, filter. But still, point is, you know, I did that and get into it. I'm now getting older, getting back into things I used to love as a kid, and I'm falling back in love with it again.
That's so dope.
But when I was a kid, I did a lot of baseball. So I did baseball from all throughout elementary school, all throughout middle school. And then I would do a lot of basketball with my buddies throughout middle school, throughout high school. And then I'd play instruments. So I was in the band for all throughout middle school, 6th to 8th grade. I was playing the trumpet.
Wow.
Like, I did drums when I was a kid, man. I'm trying to go through right now. I was one of those kids who was like a jack of all trades. I just had to try everything. If I found an interest in it, I wanted to go in and I wanted to go full force. I wanted to like learn it.
Yeah. I love the fact that you were so active at such a young age. As I'm a parent and I'm a big advocate of kids being involved in staying active, just going to school and coming home ain't going to cut it. Like, you have to get involved in extracurricular activities. Sure. So with you playing sports, you said you play baseball and you know, dabbled into basketball. Was that something that you wanted to do initially, or was it something that your parents like said, okay, this is what you're going to do?
Oh, no, it was one thing that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And my mom was just like, well, if it's getting busy and it's something you enjoy, then I'll go ahead. We didn't have much money like that because she was working a lot, that I'll give him the things he needs for like that. I stuck with it. I played it. I enjoyed it. And something that kept me busy a lot of times too for her, and especially with the skateboarding, it was one of those things of where like if I got a pair of skate shoes, I'm gonna do them things till they're tattered. If I had a skateboard, it's gonna be a box now. It's not even in shape. So I had to use it, and so she saw that I really did enjoy it every instant. So she didn't mind putting that money to it because I would get my money's worth every single time.
Yes,
and not waste it, especially when she's working her butt off to try and feed us. So,
absolutely. It's very expensive to raise kids. How many siblings do you have?
So on my mom's side, I have my brother Makai, who's 16 now, and then on my she's actually married to a woman, so she has stepmom. So I got my stepsister, and then on my dad's side, I got two younger brothers, and I got my older sister on that side as well. So I'm probably just like a middle child.
That's dope though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You kind of fall right there in the middle. Were any of your siblings, I know you said you have a younger sibling and other ones, maybe you're in your age bracket, were any of them into sports at all, or is that something that mostly you were entertaining?
So when I was younger, my sister's older than me. She's 30. She was into soccer heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of the things she loved. And then my little brother going through elementary school was trying to go into soccer. I think just because that's what he saw her doing all the time, so he wanted to do what she was doing. So he did a little bit of soccer, but it was very short-lived. He's not really doing that right now, but he's more into the academics. That boy's
smart. That's dope, though.
Yeah.
That's dope. Hey, listen, being book smart, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
There are certain things I wish I was way more intelligent in, but
Exactly. I wish I could apply to myself the way I do now.
Yes.
Like I did when I was younger.
Me
I can
too.
learn things. I can sit there and study them now. When I was a kid, thank God I was in the people who look at this thing and memorize it and go and test and bam, cool. But it was one of the things, if I actually learned it, I could have done a lot better and not had to struggle nearly as hard as I did towards the end of my high school career. But in college, I was a breeze.
Yes, 100%. Playing sports at a young age, how did that help you within your life to growing into an adult?
Definitely helped me with the discipline.
Yes.
That's one of the major things in self is discipline, of knowing that even when I don't want to, I got to if I want to get to this end goal, And that's one of the things that even now I know it, but it's still got to make it stick, is that motivation is not always going to be there.
Yes.
And so you got to think that even when motivation is not there, because the motivation to get something done is always there,
Yes.
So I did learn that from baseball, and a lot of times from that practice. And when you take it to the game, it's just putting in what you learn from that practice to the game, and not really taking it as, oh, this is a game. It's just putting what you already know, muscle memory.
Yes, yeah.
It's just trusting yourself. That's an intuition they're trying to help you build, and it's helped me out for sure, and knowing what I want and how to get through things and just trusting my gut. But especially with basketball itself, that's one of those things of where, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was more so like a little Larry Bird, man. I'll shoot my threes.
There you go.
The paint, man. I'll do my thing, my little layup, but I'm not about to go Chris Paul in there and anything like that. My buddy's going to take me out. They're going to block my thing most of the time, so I'm not going to lie. But it's one of those things, though, too, also having that bravery, that heart, though, even though knowing they may not be the best, to still go full force at it.
Absolutely.
That comes with that confidence, and you'll get better by just going full force. Even if you don't think you're the best at it, you just got to do it.
Yes, absolutely. Consistency. Yeah. That's with anything in life. In order to see results, we have to be consistent. So you never had hoop dreams to pursue that, further?
Maybe skateboarding, if anything.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was skateboarding, but that's one of those things, like I said, it was just a passion of mine that I enjoy as a hobby, that just really, as a kid, that I had all this time. I was just doing school. So I had all this time in my hand just skateboarding. Oh, am I doing this? Let me go skateboard. Like, I was getting good at it. And it was actually funny. I saw this video recently on Instagram, and there was a dude made a video talking about some from 5 to 10, or basically in a little young age, he's learning all the tricks, falling in love with skateboarding. And by 10 to 20, he's just perfecting all the tricks. He's just having fun with the tricks. By 20 and older, he's too scared to try them. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, they were like, that's me.
I was like, I'm like, oh, I don't remember recording me. I'm confused. But I was just like, man, it just comes with the responsibility of getting older, getting more in your head. As your kid, you're just doing it. You're just going full force. You're not thinking about nothing else.
No fear. You don't care if you break a bone or scuff yourself up. But as as an
signatures.
Absolutely, yeah. As an adult, and I know you're still young, but the older we get, things start hurting a little bit, and we can't bounce back as much as we did. So has music always been a passion? And I know you said you were playing instruments, but as far as you actually creating music, was that something that has always been a passion for you?
Oh no. That's something that was kind of like fell upon me. You
Okay.
know, because I've always been surrounded by music since I was young. Like,
Yeah.
Since I was even before 5, mom was always playing some sort of music constantly, and of every genre really. And so that's one of the things where I just really enjoy music, sing along in the car seat, sing along, get older, just listen to music every day, every morning before school. When I come back from school, I'm at school, just constant music. It wasn't until about 2016, I believe this would be my, I graduated 2015, so I guess maybe 2015-ish, but really 2016, it was really when me and my buddies at the time, we had a group of us, it was like really 4 or 5 of us, and we go to my buddy's house and we go to the basement, and they were like really into producing beats, and so they were sitting there making beats, and they were sitting there rapping and freestyling to it, and we were having fun. I was like, screw it, I'll just have fun, and I was having fun with it, and then one time they were making music, and I was like, you know what, like, screw it, let me, maybe I'll write something,
Yeah.
and because I enjoyed, like, at the time, I enjoyed poetry.
There you go.
I was in English, I was like honors English a lot of times, so it's one of those things of where I enjoyed putting words together, and like we were talking about earlier, your voice is like a really instrument, but even when you're doing words are an instrument in its own right.
Absolutely. How you sound them out. And
correct. It's not even, it's just how we communicate. It's no different than how a dog barks or a bird chirp. It's just how we do it, and we think birds sound beautiful,
Yes.
So if you can do these words a certain way, I was like, wait, hold on. So I just got a little thesaurus out, started making little sentences, and I was very offbeat. And my buddy offered to actually pay for the studio sessions all the time. We were actually, it was a little bedroom studio. It's had a little closet kind of deal.
Yeah.
But he had like really good equipment, you know? So it could kind of tell you can tell the difference for sure, but it was still really good for the session. It wasn't like a little phone recording thing. It was like a real deal, and I was
absolutely.
in the headphone, just and I was just spitting, and I just felt good. And then the amount of people in my school were like confused, like, well, he made music, so they would listen to it. I got heck of clicks on it, and people were like, yo, you actually could do something like that. Like, I actually enjoy it. Now there's this other thing, but like, you probably could go farther than so and so from the group. I'm like, they're my boys, like, you can't really say that, but at the same time, I mean, I see you're getting it, so I was like, man, so I kept sticking with it, and it was crazy, it was blowing everybody mind around me, is that I kept improving incredibly fast. Every single song was better than the last.
That's amazing.
My tempo was getting better, my rhyme scheme was getting better, my ability to just flow was getting better, all that stuff was getting better really fast. I was always constantly writing every single day. I would get anxiety if I wasn't writing, because I felt like I was losing time. If I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that, so it was like wearing myself out. And that's the thing, is I was like, oh, shoot. It's when I enjoy something, I get every last drop of serotonin I can get.
Absolutely, 100%.
And just fell in love with it since, kept doing it, got into real studios and fell in love with it even more, seeing how different engineers were getting better. And the engineer I was with, he's doing big things now. But seeing where it got him.
Yeah, the elevation.
I'm like, yo, I'm with him. I just connect. Things kept falling to my lap. Things kept working out. And I'm like, yo, this is just, something's just meant to be. There's certain things that, like, when you get an intuition about, like, certain scenarios, certain things that's going to come, and then that things come to fruition, you start to, like, quite, like, this might meant to be. You start questioning things, and then start getting solidified. So that confidence starts coming with it.
Yes.
And I just stuck with it since. I just can't help it. I hear it. I want to freestyle to it. I want to write to it. I want to do this. It just comes with just listening to music. I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing it, and just can't. It's the only thing I think about more than anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's because it's your passion.
Yeah.
When something is truly your passion, you can't stop thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. You think about it throughout the day. You go to bed thinking about it. You dream about it. Yeah. Like, it's always in your subconscious somewhere. Yeah. And I heard you say that, there was a point in time where if you weren't writing that you would get anxiety. And let's talk about that a little bit, because I'm really big on people writing. I've been sharing this a lot lately. Like, I journal because I was starting to experience some anxiety, and I was told, start writing and journaling, pouring your thoughts and your emotions out. Does that help you as well as, like, if you got maybe something on your chest, or you just, feeling a certain way, for you to write and get it out?
Certainly can. I have songs like Life in the Basement. I'm not sure if I don't think I've ever had you listen to that one yet, but that one was very personal and deep. And that's something that I wrote 2018, 2019 at the time. And that was one where I really was able to get my emotions out, and I felt relieved after the fact.
Yeah.
There's other times though when I'm writing and all it does is just bring out more emotions. It feels no different than just punching a punching bag, and all you want to do is keep punching. It's not really doing anything but just bringing more emotions and not getting it in out, and so then sometimes that'll bring on like a depressive episode kind
Understood.
of, because I'll be just mulling over it too long.
Are you an overthinker?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got anxiety. Oh yeah. I'm
Me
overthinking
too.
like crazy. Oh yeah. I'm very analytic. I analyze every single thing, every single scenario, every single thing like this. Yeah.
Me too. It drives me insane. Like I'll think
yeah.
of 100 different scenarios before something even happens. Like if I have to go somewhere to an event, I'll think of all these scenarios of like how it might go, who's gonna be there, what's the energy gonna be like. It sounds like you do the same thing.
Say that thing, and the second thing happened, I knew it. I knew it. Lo and behold, probably not. It's just a little confirmation bias, but still, though, it's that exact thing. I gotta have it all planned out. I gotta know
Yes.
it. Exit route kind of thing.
Yeah.
Living American, I gotta know it. In and out, it's gotta be a certain way, and that's when it starts to be like maybe I'm onto something too, because I started thinking about these things too, and sometimes things could be out of there.
It could be intuition as well.
It could be, and that's what I'm thinking as well. The intuition of just knowing, and that there's a lot of that confidence. It's overconfident sometimes, but it still leads into it. And that overconfidence does end up bringing exactly. There was a quote, and I think it was a Tyler Creator song too. We end up chasing the things we're running away from.
Yeah, there you go. And
Yeah.
and that's facts. And it's funny because when I get booked for events to host or whatever, or go out and do interviews, I know I be driving them people insane because I'll ask them a million questions about the whole scenario. But it's important to me to know all the details. What's
Yep.
the parking going to be like? Am I going to have to park and walk 3 blocks? Or, like I think about that kind of stuff because, for one, I'm a woman. You know what I'm
have
saying?
to.
And we
You
have
have
to,
to.
like, that little young lady who just, a couple weeks ago, I don't know, in downtown Atlanta, she was leaving a venue and she got killed and they found her body 4 days later in a parking garage. Not to get off topic, but
Still,
it's those type of scenarios that make me,
have to.
I need to know the ins and outs. And if you don't like it, then don't book me.
correct. You have to think about these things here, because if you don't think about it, you'll be underprepared. It's better to be overprepared than not prepared at all.
Period. Absolutely.
You don't want to be. That's the thing. You don't want to be caught lacking. Be caught with it than without it, kind of deal. And that's when you want to have these things planned out, fully fleshed out. It's these situations. It's fully relevant because we
Yes.
are here in Atlanta, Georgia. These things
No, for
happen.
real.
We're here in America. We're in this global world. It's not the same times.
That's right.
Even if it wasn't the same times, you still want to be there, be planned. Because let's say you do make your dreams come true here. You don't want to be the man who don't have a plan when he's up there. That thing. That's that's how you lose everything.
Facts, absolutely. We have to keep our head on a swivel at all
Correct.
times. Absolutely. Talking about this, we got a little deep, and I love talking about that because we have to make people aware.
Correct.
Some people live too loosely per se. They're too comfortable, and we got to just be on our toes. With that being said, what would you say is like one of the biggest life lessons, not even in the music industry, but just a big life lesson that you've learned? Share that. Maybe it might help somebody. Or one of them. It doesn't have to be the biggest, but one of them.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's like trying to ask me something about like my teen. I gotta think something specific. My brain. Because there's so many life lessons. That's the thing, is that you gotta be learning something every single day. At least that should be the goal, is to learn something new every single day. If you're not, your mind's closed. You gotta keep your mind open, because things just kind of come to you, and you if you have your closed mind, you miss them. And there's a amount of times I've had opportunities or I've had experiences that I could have experienced or made more of, but I just wasn't fully there. Yeah. As far as motivation goes, there's a thing that I've been living by my own self, and that's just basically I gotta stop looking at this entire staircase and just looking at the step in front of me.
Yes.
You can use the handrail, which is going to be your support system. That's going to be your people around you. It's going to be your family. It could be even your own self. But at the same time, use the handrail if you need to. But just focus on that step in front of you. Now, it's too easy to get carried away with that, with looking just step by step, because you can miss the whole entire bigger picture. You do need to see that. You do need to see how far you've come, how far you've made it. But at the same time, though, you really have to be aware and focus. It's better to be vigilant than just go ahead and be unaware. I mean, I don't know how else to put that, but it's just one of those things I'm learning right now, and I'm just really trying to make the most of every single moment, because the amount of times I could just stop rapping or songwriting because I didn't have that handrail next to me, or at least felt like it, or at least found the handrail and later in life. I could have just been doing a day-to-day job and using my degree, but this is the thing I want to chase. But instead, step by step, how does this relate to the bigger picture at the end of the day, to the staircase I'm trying to get to? So just be aware, be mindful, create the plan, get to the top, but focus at the step in front.
That is such a great analogy. I love that. I love that because we can't skip no steps. I talk about this. Anybody watch my interviews, I say it all the time. We cannot skip no steps.
At all.
And another thing we can't skip is a struggle.
Correct.
We got to go right through that struggle. There are going to be times where we're like, how are we going to pay this bill? Or how are we going to make this happen? We go through this.
You have to. You don't see scientists just getting lucky like, oh, man, I created this, cool. No, they have to go back and figure out how it is because they just got lucky. They want to know, how do I keep replicating this over and over again? If I'm struggling, I got to make sure that that I learn from this situation. I'm tired of repeating the same things over and over again. Life is already cyclical as it is. I don't want to make it any worse.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you big on manifesting things and positive affirmations and things like that?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about that. Like, what are some of the, example? I wake up in the morning and part of my journaling is I write 3 positive affirmations down. You know, I am productive. I am speaking it as if though it's already happened, manifesting. You know, what are some of the things that you maybe perhaps manifest on a day-to-day or a week-to-week type basis?
That's one of them things that, for instance, one that I didn't even talk about is that, I began college trying to do psychology because I just love, the mind and how it works. Yeah. You know, and one of the things you do learn is that that faking confidence into turning into real confidence. And so for me, I have my mirror, I have my dry erase markers, and I have it written on it too. What is it that I want to change? And I have 3 points. What 3 things I want to change? And then how are these things going to change? What am I going to do to change these things? What 3 things I have on there? And then, so for instance, for me, it's I want to change basically people's affect on me. Yes. You know, not because I can be very empathetic, you know, so I can start taking in everybody's things. If they're angry, I can start get mad back kind of deal. Instead, don't let their moods or their actions affect me. So I want to affect these things here, right? So I want to name the things I want to change, figure out how I'm going to change these things, but also in the moment, it's natural to just have these thoughts that come to your head. And that's one thing that's only came when I was older, realizing that it's natural to have thoughts in your head, but how are you going to change these things and how do you identify with these thoughts themselves? Because humans think things that you don't necessarily need to believe, right? And you could think, oh man, I can't do this. Maybe you can't do it today, but you can do it in the future. But you can't say it's one thing to say I can't, but if you just full on that I can't statement, you just sit on that, that's when you start to manifest I can't do something. If I want to do something, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be somewhere. But that was me telling myself all the time, I'm gonna be so and so. I'm gonna be making money songwriting. I'm gonna make money songwriting and constantly believing that. And if I hear one of my song back, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I got to hear these different things that's going to just put me into that mindset and catch myself when it happens. Yes. You know, I'm not going to catch myself every single time, but if I'm catching majority of the time to where other people can notice these things before I even notice these things, then I know I'm doing a well thing. It's just more so trying to change that personality, that, I don't know how to put it, but just changing the internal so that the external follows. And people will follow in the same sense. So it's more so just focusing on my own self and focusing on manifesting these things that I want. I got to keep saying things over and again. You said in the morning, I got to keep saying it over and again. I can't just say it one time because it won't happen. Right. If you want to be a person of your word, you got to say it multiple times. You got to follow through on these things. Following through is massive because you can say, oh, I am this person. But what are you doing to actually do that? Yeah, to make yourself that person you're manifesting. Right. I mean, heck, I have my people who I don't want to work out. Okay, well, do you at least pull up to the gym? Nah. At least maybe pull up to the gym. At least go for maybe 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Do something. Right. These things add up. It's just habit building. It's just constantly making it essentially a reflex. Yes. It's so easy to build a discipline, but it's even easier to end that discipline even if you've been keeping up with it for ages. So for instance, for me, I was going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week from September all the way through, I want to say June, right? I went on vacation halfway through June for 2 weeks to the Philippines, came back. It got harder to get myself back. I'd go 3, 4, and then it started petering off, and I'm 2, and so now I'm back to 2, 3 times a week, but it's not back where I was at, and it's so much easier to follow through, even though I had more months of following through, you have to do it. You have to plan through and follow through. And that's like manifesting what you want. Because even when you don't want it in that moment, you want it later, and you're mad that you didn't do it in the past.
Man, I love the way you think.
Appreciate
Like
it.
I would say if you're not already thinking about it or doing it, you may want to get into like some motivational speaking, because I think a lot of the stuff that I know a lot of the stuff that you are talking about will help people. Like oftentimes we just need that reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to take it back to the basics. There's nothing wrong with, like sometimes taking a quick step back to regather ourselves and get everything together and start over. And I also seen a video on Instagram. I want to say I seen it a couple times. It was an older gentleman, and he was saying, don't ever say you can't do something. Because how do you know you can't do it if you've never attempted to do it?
Try it.
Try it out. You
try
know,
it, then you can say you can't.
Right,
but at the
right.
same time, it's like, yo, how do you know you still can't? Well, you say you can't. Pardon me, man.
That's that Duncan. Good Duncan.
That Duncan came to me. You gotta prove it. So then you can say that, even then you can't really say you can't until you really give it a good try.
Period.
The amount of times, the amount of people I've known who have been who try something one time, right?
And be like, I can't do
maybe
this.
Maybe they did their full force that one time. Cool. But do it on a repeat, because you never know. Sometimes that might be something you might actually be good at if you gave it your all consistently.
Absolutely. Like a quick example, like I've really recently gotten back on my health journey, because like pre-pandemic, I lost 63 pounds. Like I was, like you were saying, I was in the gym all the time. Pandemic hit, gym shut down, I fell off. Now I'm back on it.
Right.
And one of the things I've been doing is the Stairmaster. I enjoy doing that because it's such a great workout. When I first started getting on there, I was able to do about 3 minutes on the Stairmaster, because it's tough picking up your entire. Now, yesterday I did 10 and a half minutes, and that was an accomplishment for me. But like you said, if I had got on that one time, like, oh man, I can only do 3 minutes, I ain't doing this. You gotta keep doing it and being consistent over and over.
Consistency, that is life in general. Life was persistent, and that's why we here at this table talking.
Facts, period. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing all that. I love these type of in-depth conversations because people need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people do stuff like this and they just talk on the surface. They're talking about a bunch of BS that people don't really even care to hear about. So thank you for sharing all that information. With that being said, let's get back to the music, because I know that that's absolutely your passion.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that's kind of how we got into what we were talking about. Music is your passion. And this is a question I like to ask everybody. Being that music is your passion, what is your purpose through you creating music?
My purpose of creating music. So that's the thing about it, is that I kept. So in business, you need to know what is you create, what market you attain, to basically create your product for.
Yes.
You need to identify what that audience is, right? And understand what your product is. Maybe you wanted this sort of audience, but your product only goes for these kind of people, right?
Right.
So originally when I created music, even today, I'm not gonna say originally, always, this music is for me.
Yes.
When I write these songs, a lot of times these are stories that pertain to me, that are from me to hear.
Yes.
That's another way I manifest.
Yes.
Is by hearing these things. It may not be, sometimes I'm not gonna say things aren't true. They're always gonna be true on my thumb, but it may reign true even more so in the future as well. And so what I do is create music for me on the gap that I'm not hearing on my playlist. Music that's just not, it's like hearing and things that, like, the amount of times, like for instance, like last night, right, I was in a certain mood and there are songs that were like, hitting the right spot, but some of just were not itching where I needed it to be.
Yeah.
I was like, shoot. Searching around, thinking around, and I'll write my just poet. I guess it's poems. There's no beat to it, no instrumental to it. So I'll just write that and see what on there. Maybe I'll apply it to a song later. But a lot of times I'll have to find some sort of instrumental that pairs well with that, or that I just know. I'm like, oh, no, that's it. That's the one. You hear that one. It's amount of time I've seen, like it was Pharrell and Justin Timberlake when they were in the booth making, I can't remember what song it was, but they knew once it happened, you just know.
You just know. You get that feeling.
That feeling for a fact. It's just so many times we heard like a popular song right when they drop an album, oh, that's going to be a hit.
Yes, exactly. Right. Right.
And so for me, I'm creating that niche for myself, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of people who are actually looking for that same sound. I'm trying to get it out to them. Yes. I want these people to have that song they're listening to, because for me, I'm not sharing a lot. I'm not sharing and say I'm lyrical whatsoever, because I'm definitely not making simple rhymes whatsoever.
Yeah.
Mine for me is it's like I'll say like human experience, but basically it's just trying to explain, like, you know how artists like Bob Ross, they create art just based on what they're seeing. They look at the thing and they keep doing that. That's exactly what I'm trying to create.
You're painting a picture.
Painting a picture, and it's storytelling, but at the same time, it's also trying to put, not saying you in my POV, but essentially I want to just explain what I'm seeing, because it's like getting a GoPro and putting it on your head. You know, it's like, holy crap, I can see his point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Know? I want to create that and understand, so that way you can feel like you're in, that your literal thoughts are physically here, and it's not like I'm trying to storytell what it's like coming out of Marietta, because it ain't much. It's suburbs, except for now it's coming like city. It's insane.
Absolutely.
It's still suburban enough to where it's like not much interesting is happening. I mean, it's Cobb, Cobb. The only thing is the police.
Yeah.
That's about it. But it's just trying to create an understanding that everybody can relate to some degree, because no matter where we're at, there's emotion, there's feelings, there's things we all go through that maybe not in the same exact way, but it's the same base foundation that I want to put into the lyrics that we can all do or look to motivate us. Like, for instance, I don't know if you met Shaquille Hodge or Swag Pack Shaq, but he does it on the car shows, and that's where I met Raphael Capone.
Okay.
Was at one of those car shows.
Yeah.
And his brother actually does a lot of rap. I did a song called Ambition is Gun with him, and y'all be hearing that in the near future. And on that one, that is more so about, I got ambition, gun. Like, you know how you go to commit robbery, you got a gun, that makes you get real motivated.
Yeah.
So I got ambitions one where it's like, to me, I got ambition, I gotta get this now, I gotta go. Here it is, everything I need to go. So it's like trying to motivate me to get these things done, or maybe I need to speak about the depression I'm going through.
Yes.
Or maybe I need to speak about a crazy night I had, but that everybody goes through in a way that reigns true for everybody, but it's not like cliche, cookie cutter, formulaic you see coming from corporate.
Right. Understood. Absolutely. And that's the type of music it sounds like that you're really producing is, like you said, you're telling that story, but you're also putting it out in a way with the modern twist of what people want to hear.
Yeah.
Because, truth be told, the way they were rapping back in the 90s, like very lyrical, very barsy, as I call it, that's kind of like played out. That's not really what people want to hear today. But it's like you can still put out songs that have substance to them.
Correct.
But in a modern twist to where these youngins are going to want to listen to it, and you're going to capture a bigger audience.
Correct. And that's the best way I can put it. And it's like my top two like artists right now, I mean, for a good minute, is going to be Jimi Hendrix, and that's like how he plays his guitar is strictly from just straight emotion on there. You can feel it through it if you really listen to his guitar. Or even recently with like Swimming and Circles would be Matt Miller, and that was a sound that when after it was posted, posthumously, people were like, I wish you lived, because this is exactly what people are looking for. Like the instrumentals is very modern,
yes,
but the way he speaks is about the experience of simply living.
Yes.
And that's just a substance in its own right. There's substance in music. There's maybe substance in my own self, right? But at the same time, this is about caffeine. At the same time, don't do drugs. That's one of the things I'm very proud of, sobriety-wise, and I write my best music sober. I've been staying sober. I
love it.
Thoroughly enjoying it. Maybe go Colorado, California, or league, cool, great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really, for me, it doesn't help me on my best music. I want to just, my best music is sobriety and taking everything in. And
having
just
a clear
putting
mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just putting that substance into the actual music.
I'm with you. I'm the same way. Some people have to have, something to smoke on to create, and that's cool. But I'm like you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a very clear mind. I can't, to me, any type of substance that I put in my body inhibits how I think, and it kind of slows me down a little bit, and I need to be quick and sharp on my toes. So it's like, everybody uses stuff for different reasons. It is what it is. What is the most recent single that you put out people can go check out?
So the recent single I have out right now, I believe is going to be Swan Dive, which is absolutely instrumentally insane. Even lyrically, it was one of those things where I always challenge myself to be different on every single song. You can find Swan Dive out on all major streaming platforms.
Yes.
But this is more so being in the mind of when I have like a depressive moment.
Yeah.
It starts off very like, happy and cool on a dime. Changes. And just like that, changes right back. it's like a mood swing.
I love it.
You can't control it, you know? And that's what I love about it. And it's just, it feels very raw and unfiltered. I almost wanted to like get it like just, you know, mastered well, but like just the mixed version itself.
Keep it kind of gritty.
Exactly. It needs to have that feel, you know, to it.
Totally understand what you're saying. And I've been hearing that a lot from artists. They'll say that, not that they don't want the quality there, but they don't want a super duper mix and master on it because they want to kind of keep that grittiness because it gets their point across a little bit more of the type of feel, the emotion they want people to get when they listen to that song.
Yes, ma'am.
Totally understand. That is dope. Now, are you at all looking at putting an entire project together, EP, album?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Within the next 6 months? How soon?
Within the next 6 months. So I can go ahead and tell y'all I have the artwork. It's nearly finished.
Okay.
I'm super picky
as you should be.
Everything I do, you know, it's, you know, it's as close to perfect as I can get. You know, I used to be a perfectionist. I'd be this, but the things I've been chasing something that I can't reach. So I get to a point where I feel like this is good. This is about as best as I can make it.
Yes.
The artwork is nearly there. Thing is about that too is I get something about like 10, 13 songs, maybe 15. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's so funny.
I only say that because, you know, that's my age. Yeah, I'll be happy to do something and then I completely forget that I even did it or recorded it.
I know. I get it.
That's consistency part. But anyways, so I'm gonna have my album out here really, really soon. I know I've been telling people that, like, you know, it's gonna be really soon. It's gonna be really soon. It's like a Frank Ocean thing. Oh, really soon. You know, and it's been like how many years, you know? But it's a full album. You know, a name. I'm more than positive I have it right here. You know, but once again, it's just like this morning trying to pick an outfit. I think I have it the day. One night I come the next morning. I'm like, nah, I'm indecisive.
Yeah.
Very.
You and I are like the same person. Swear to God, like.
Wait, that's not me right here. I was confused. I thought I was looking at myself.
Nah, for real. Big facts, exactly. We the same person, you guys. You just don't know it. But that is
not yet.
But that's dope. Yeah, you don't have to disclose the title until you absolutely, you know, 1,000% sure this is what you're going with. But we can say safely that within the next 6 months.
Oh yeah. So my big plan, like I said, is without a shadow of doubt, is that the music's gonna be there, but I'm gonna get the videos out first. This is something that I need. People to be able to visualize first.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of times when I'm like, you know, like other artists and I listen to the song on its own, the video in itself plays back in my head.
Yeah, I agree.
And then now I can live through it and I can really understand it. I remember the song a lot more.
Like you said, looking through someone's eyes, you know what I'm saying? 100%. I agree. Anything that you got in the works coming up? You know, I know the album will be coming in the next 6 months, but any other things that you got, you know, working on, business ventures that people need to know about?
So I have a... So you'll see like online, like my catalog, be looking like not small because I've backlogged a lot of songs off there and been very particular about what I have now because once again I've made a lot of progress. But aside from like my recent like 3, I had Back, I had Swan Dive, I have Island Time. I actually forgot about that one as well, which I did when I was back in the Philippines. I have like 2 notes, like I'm talking about like nearly 20 songs that are completely finished, recorded. I simply just want to go ahead and get a mix. Now, what I can say for sure is about to be out real soon is with my boy Kaufman. You actually met him when you and I actually first met.
Yes.
With him is the song we actually did perform called Stages.
Oh, okay, dope.
That's going to be here posted on here. Look out for that one.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that one. I really loved making that song with him. He and I did that easy.
That's
it was
dope.
so quick. It was one of the things where I met him, introduced, I played on the beat. He's like, oh, I love that. Send me the hook. Let me see what it's about, and I'll write my thing. I said, cool. The next day, we went to the studio. He did his part within 30 minutes. I did mine in 30 minutes. It was probably really less. I mean, he spent more time actually probably mixing it really than recording it, to be real. But we went to the real studio, got that thing done, and then we listened to it back. And I was like, when I did my part, we didn't realize that there was a little bit of delay in the mic, you know.
Whoa,
I was so used to when I was practicing on my own, you know, back home when I was younger, on using USB mics.
Right.
So my brain just was able to like work around it.
Understood.
But for him, who is always in the studio, was like, no, there's delay on this thing. And so I was like, oh yeah, and it sure was. So I went back there, actually rewrote some parts, redid it, redid some parts, added some parts on there, and it sounds so much better.
Yeah.
It's about to be mixed, mastered. We're about to have that thing out. Yeah. Hopefully y'all gonna hear this thing on the radio. Not hopefully. It's gonna be here on the radio.
Manifesting. It will be on radio.
It's one of those things of when I'm gonna have it on the radio and I want y'all to hear this in your car. It's one of those things where it stops like, wait, hold on, who is that?
Nah, for real. That's one of the best places to test out new music is driving in the car, listening to how it sounds when you riding, how it makes you feel.
Especially at nighttime.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, before we get out of here, a couple things we got to do. One, make sure everybody knows where they can follow you at on all your social platforms.
You can follow me on Instagram at Casa, COSAHH. Don't ask me how I got that. I'll explain later. That's a whole different story. So you can follow me on SoundCloud at Tamari. You can go on Apple Music, Tamari. Spotify, Tamari. Pandora, Tamari. I mean, that's where you can find me on here. I got my whole link tree in my bio. Everything you need to know about me, all my links are going to be there. Some more really sad. Absolutely.
No, I think that's dope. You got to have that link tree or at least something like a link tree inside your bio so all your information is right there. Who do you want to shout out to?
So first off, I want to go and shout out to my boy Gendy. He's one of the reasons why I got into music. He's one of the people who are producing beats who's just phenomenal at it. We actually just went skateboarding just yesterday for a couple hours. It was nice to catch up. We caught up again. He's doing a whole clothing line. He's been sticking with that for a minute. He's been really designing, getting them created. He's something he had a passion for a smooth minute. My boy Kaufman, of course. Go listen to his music. He keeps going crazy. He's actually got a show here. I believe October 17th. Down at some Monster Mash. You can get tickets like $10. They're real cheap. It's a huge venue. Outside of that, I want to go ahead and shout out Pete Davidson, man. I need y'all to get me in touch with this man. I'm tired of y'all comparing me to him. Look. I don't look like him. I need y'all to put this to rest, man.
That is so funny.
I can't keep doing this. Like, you know who he look like? Who I look like? Don't you say it.
You look like Tamari.
Tamari, yeah. He didn't look like me.
There you go.
He look like me.
You're so funny. You should
taller.
Yeah.
That's it. Man, I don't. It's all the time. I get Blake Griffin. I get Logic. You know, kind of. I get Logic. I can see those. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the PDSN thing, they said, and I quote, "This ain't me. This is me quoting what I hear. You look like Pete Davidson without the butthole eyes."
Oh my God, that is so.
That ain't me, man. But honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't take that personally. I would just settle it and just confine me so we can get side by side and just end that.
Absolutely. That is so funny. Last but not least, we are live. Industry's Most Wanted podcast. Boom.
Wanted.
Tell everybody what makes you the industry's most wanted.
Industry's most wanted. The fact that I'm bringing something to the table that everybody's literally asking for. This is not me just saying that I'm open. That's simply what I'm being told. I don't like to spew anything that I'm not physically getting from everybody else. I have my own confidence and I'll say certain things here, but a lot of things is what people project onto me that I like display. So it's something that I'm bringing to everybody else that they need here. I know people need some songwriters. I know people need people to review anything they have.
Yes.
On there. Aside from that, dude, I'm different. I'm tired of hearing you look different. That's the thing. I get two things. You unique looking, or you look like somebody I know.
Yes, you are. You do have a unique look. Yeah. I said that the first night I met you. I love your image. I love you stand out, yes, and that's what I love about it. And you got great energy.
Great energy. I get told that thing. I'm just vibing. I'm being you know.
Yeah, you're a big ball of good energy. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you being here. Give me some love, man. Of course, boom. We up out of here, y'all.
Take it easy, y'all.
Wait till later. Uncertain always brings about danger. Race conversion, not the kind of person that I am. I create my own personal version of a man, and I'm getting there. Obsessed about self.